96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Good morning. The Prime Minister responding to a UN human rights report. A new court complex to start in 2024. And the British Colonial Hotel reopens more than half full for Christmas. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
It's a new day. Wake up. It's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's here. It's the start of the end of the old way. Revolution. Wake up. It's a new day. Wake up. It's a new day.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Tuesday, December 19th, 2023. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Duquesa Dean will be joining us. Also this morning, we'll get an update on the postponed Beat Retreat, which is now scheduled for tomorrow. We'll tell you what you can expect tomorrow. And we're meeting two authors today, and their books may be good ideas as Christmas gifts. You'll meet them coming up this morning. That's all straight ahead. But first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while we're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, Prime Minister Philip Davis said he does not need a United Nations report in order for him to learn about human rights concerns in the Bahamas. The UN Working Group on Arbitrary Detention, which recently visited the Bahamas, raised significant concerns with almost every major facet of the detention process in the country. Those concerns ranged from allegations of police violence to obtained confessions to the inhumane conditions of the Bahamas Department of Correctional Services. When asked to respond to some of the findings, the Prime Minister said, quote, "I'm always concerned about these issues, particularly as it relates to human rights. This is a legacy issue. This has been plaguing our administration of justice for quite a long time, and we need to address that. I'm concerned about it. I didn't need the UN report to tell me about some of these issues, and we are addressing them." While the working group expressed worry with the frequent absence of arrest warrants, the alleged beating and torture of people under arrest to obtain confessions, and the poor conditions of the prison, the three-member group visited the Bahamas from November 27th through December 9th. In its preliminary report, the group noted that although the law mandates that officers bring arrested individuals before magistrate within a period of 48 hours after an arrest or seek via an ex parte application an extension of 72 hours, it found cases where that was not followed. The Prime Minister says he understands the position of the UN. He says he hopes they appreciate that we are a country of limited resources, And, quote, we have a lot of competing interests to attract our attention from resources, so we're doing what we can within the remit of our resources. Well, the Davis administration is moving forward with plans to start construction of a new Supreme Court complex in Nassau in 2024. Attorney General Ryan Pinder telling this to the Senate yesterday. Pinder said the government has, through its property holding special purpose vehicle Poinciana Holdings, concluded the purchase of 50 Shirley Street and 52 Shirley Street. He said ownership of the Rodney Bain building on Shirley Street has also been conveyed to the government. This area will be home to a new court complex, which will house at least 19 new Supreme Courts, related judges' chambers, and support services. A Supreme Court jury convicting William Etienne of the broad daylight murder of a crippled man in 2018. The 9-member jury unanimously decided that Etienne was the person who gunned down Alvin Strachan as he sat in front of a computer at the FMO web shop on East Street and Balfour Avenue on August 24, 2018. According to the security guard, on the day in question, Etienne visited the web shop twice before the shooting to get change. On the third visit, the guard recalled that Etienne asked him to unlock the bathroom door. A few minutes later, the guard heard gunshots coming from the area. The guard said he saw Etienne pointing a handgun at Strachan and demanding, quote, "What did you say about my mother?" Strachan insisted that he didn't say anything about Etienne's mother as he pleaded for his life, according to the witness. Nonetheless, the witness said that Etienne shot Strachan multiple times and he fell to the ground. And a teenager has been denied bail after being accused of a shooting earlier this month. Prosecutors say Christian Knowles, an 18-year-old of Washington Street, shot Barry Knowles on December 8th. Knowles faces charges of attempted murder and possession of a firearm with intent to endanger life regarding the incident. He wasn't required to enter a plea to the charge when he first made his court appearance before Acting Chief Magistrate Roberto Reckley yesterday. Knowles' matter was adjourned to April 7th, 2024 for the presentation of a voluntary bill of indictment. And after closing 2 years ago, the British Colonial Hotel in downtown Nassau reopened its doors following $50 million in renovations. The hotel closed as a Hilton-branded property in February 2022. Deputy Prime Minister, Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, Chester Cooper, saying that the endeavor has, quote, not only breathed new life into the cherished historic site, but has also brought forth the promise of economic growth and opportunity for our people. He said that with the creation of more than 300 new jobs for Bahamians, the transformation will foster employment and provide avenues for professional development within the community. He also says the hotel will play a pivotal role in the revitalization of downtown Nassau. Overseas, a strong overnight earthquake rattled a mountainous region of northwestern China. Authorities say homes were destroyed, leaving residents out in the below-freezing winter night and killing 127 people in China's deadliest quake in 9 years. The magnitude 6.2 earthquake struck just before midnight on Monday, injuring more than 700 people, damaging roads and knocking out power and communication lines in the Guangzhou and Qinghai provinces. As emergency workers searched for the missing and collapsed buildings and at least one landslide, people who lost their homes were preparing to spend a cold winter night in tents hastily erected at evacuation sites. The earthquake struck at a relatively shallow depth of 6 miles, about 3 miles from the provincial boundary with Qinghai. And the Earthquake Networks Center said according to the U.S. Geological Survey, that the quake measured at the magnitude of 5.9. State broadcaster said 113 were confirmed dead in Guangzhou and another 536 people injured in the province. And a volcano that has rumbled for weeks erupted in southwestern Iceland, spewing semi-molten rock into the air in a spectacular show of Earth's power in the land known for fire and ice. The eruption that started Monday night occurred about 2.4 miles from the town of Grindavik. The town near Iceland's main airport was evacuated in November after thousands of earthquakes damaged homes and raised fears of an imminent eruption. Today, fountains of orange lava shot into the darkened sky from a fissure in the ground. Iceland, which sits just above the Arctic Circle and above a volcanic hotspot in the North Atlantic, has about 20 hours of darkness a day in December. One broadcaster showed a live feed of the eruption on its website as Christmas carols played in the background. Iceland averages an eruption every 4 to 5 years. The most disruptive in recent times was the 2010 eruption, which spewed huge clouds of ash into the atmosphere and led to widespread airspace closures over Europe. In sports, what is expected to be a grand year in track and field for the country is getting an early start with the staging of the B3A's odd distance meet this Friday at the original Thomas A. Robinson Track and Field Stadium. The one-day meet, originally set for this past Saturday, gets underway at 1 p.m. on Friday. It's expected to draw hundreds of athletes from all over the country for some early season action. A number of collegiate athletes are expected to compete as well. According to meet director Damaris Cash, registration is going smoothly and they anticipate a fantastic showing from the athletes. He says over 300 are scheduled to take part. You can read more about it in today's Guardian Sports section. From NFL Monday Night action, Jalen Hurts playing through flu-like symptoms, and his Philadelphia Eagles suffered, perhaps as a result, losing to the Seattle Seahawks last night, 20-17. It's Philadelphia's third straight loss. Philadelphia riding a tenuous line. They've already clinched a playoff spot, but the defending NFC champs have looked anything but Super Bowl ready for the past few weeks. Their point differential of plus 18 is tied for the third worst of any team with at least 10 wins through the first 14 games of the season. They have time to get it corrected, though, and the schedule of the final 3 weeks is favorable, with 2 games against the lowly New York Giants sandwiched around a visit from the even worse Arizona. The Eagles should have every chance to finish with about 13 wins, but it may not be enough to even win their own division. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. In your first look at weather for today, we've got strong high pressure that continues to build across the northern Bahamas, supporting hazardous marine conditions along with moderate to fresh winds. Meanwhile, a departing frontal boundary near the southeast Bahamas will continue to produce some shower and thunderstorm activity as it moves away from that area. Special warnings today. We've got a risk of waterspout activity in the southeastern Bahamas, and boaters should be exercising caution along Atlantic exposures, while beachgoers should stay out of the water due to high seas, rough surf, and hazardous rip currents along north and east coast beaches. For today, for most of the country, we're looking at variably cloudy conditions, a bit breezy to quite breezy and cool. Expect isolated showers with a chance of a few isolated thunderstorms across the southeast Bahamas. For boaters, smallcraft advisory remains in effect due to moderate easterly swells. Expect gusty winds and higher seas in or near showers of thunderstorms in the southeastern Bahamas. Winds in the northwest and central islands, northwest to north at 10 to 15 knots, with higher gusts today, becoming north to northeast at 15 to 20 knots by this afternoon, northerly at 15 to 20 knots across the southeast Bahamas. Seas in the northwest and central islands, 3 to 5 feet near shore, but up to 8 feet offshore and along Atlantic exposures. Elsewhere, seas will run 4 to 6 feet near shore, but up to 8 feet offshore and along Atlantic exposures. Currently in Nassau, it's about 69 degrees. We're looking at highs getting up to around 77 Fahrenheit, 25 Celsius today. Overnight lows getting down to a cool 65 Fahrenheit, 18 Celsius. We'll tell you more about how long the cool temperatures will stick around in our extended outlook coming up after traffic in just a bit.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
It is time for a break, but when we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9, your home for fresh news and smart talk all day.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Fidelity can on this year with their new festive giveaway. You could win cash, an iPhone 15, get a bill paid off, PS5, all kind of things. Apply for a loan or an ASUS savings account, and you could win. Try our call them now. Yeah? 356-7764.
At Wendy's, we are different. We don't just use beef. It's fresh, never frozen. Our burgers are square because we never cut corners. Served hot off the grill with fresh lettuce, tomatoes, onions, and American cheese. We believe in fast food done right. Always serving fresh, never frozen beef. Order a hot, juicy Dave single, double, or triple. Made with fresh, never frozen beef. Now only at Wendy's. Different inside and out.
It's $1 million Christmas and Everybody Wins is hooking you up. From December 1st to December 29th, you can win cash giveaways. Get into the cash vault, spin and win, and take advantage of other random raffle drawers. Prizes like mortgage payments, rent payments, utility bills cleared, cold cash, and more. To enter, you must sign up and get a verified account and simply spend $20 or more and you're in. To be eligible, you must be 18 and over. It's $1 million Christmas with Everybody Wins. Terms and conditions apply.
Cashmas time, here we go. Mercy's doing it big this year. Cashmas time with extra chair. 12 days of merry winnings from your friends at Island Day. Friends we trust, hey we know. Cashmas time, here we go. Prizes and lots of dough. This Christmas, come catch a lick with 20 on your account. Quick, quick, quick. And you can win some awesome stuff at Percy's Island Day.
Ladies and gentlemen, fasten your seatbelts. With the new JetBlue CIBC First Caribbean credit card, you're cleared for takeoff to a world of incredible benefits and perks. Use your card and earn up to 2 times True Blue points on everyday purchases. Get your first check back free and travel to your next vacation faster. Apply for the JetBlue CIBC First Caribbean credit card today at cibcfcib.com/JetBlue.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Oh boy. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us 422-4796. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Joining us now, we've got Duquesa Dean. Duquesa, good morning.
Good morning, Dwight. Good morning, everyone. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm okay, thank you.
Okay, wonderful stuff. I started laughing there because I opened the text line and I saw a message. I didn't get it at first, but as soon as the mic was open, then I finally got it. Earlier, I said we're going to be meeting two authors, and they're going to tell us about their books. And so the text came in. At first I didn't understand. So the person says, "Minutes ain't one of them guess a." Like, and then I remembered, oh yeah, he did write a book. No, not yet.
Perhaps in the future. Stay tuned.
Oh boy. No. We're going to be meeting Lazar Charlton, who has written a series of children's books. He's going to tell us about that. And then later in business, we're going to talk with Kevin Benaby about his book about forgiveness. And we're going to get into that. Before that, though, we're going to be talking with the police force band about the beat retreat, which had to be postponed because of the weather over the weekend. It is now scheduled for tomorrow, Wednesday at 4 p.m. We'll get some details from them in just a bit. So that's all ahead. But let's begin with what else is in the news. And in the news, big headline, British Colonial has reopened after a number of years of renovations. Finally opened. Well, no, not quite 2 years, but it felt long. It felt like a long time. Closed in February as a Hilton-branded hotel. And $50 million in renovations. And is now open. And already things are looking pretty decent. We're told that more than half full for Christmas, which is next week. So within a week, that's not bad at all, I think, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's 60% occupancy for Christmas week, according to the hotel's general manager, Dan McDermott. So he's the hotel's developer, China State Construction Engineering Corporation, spent $50 million to completely overhaul the historic downtown hotel. McDermott says the opening was a soft opening and explained that while they were waiting for the arrival of some guests yesterday, occupancy will be a bit soft this week. And then with Christmas week, they have only a handful that still aren't sold because they're still working on those. But so they're putting on the finishing touches, and so it's a soft opening yesterday.
Wow. Mm-hmm. It'll be really interesting to see.
Yeah, to see how this goes, right? Mm-hmm. And see if it can go it alone without a major brand attached to it. I know we've heard from different people over the past few years that is important, but some have proven that it isn't that important. So we will see. We will see. Yeah. So McDermott says that the marketing dollars are being spent in the country's strongest source market, so areas like South Florida. And they're going to partner with the Nassau Paradise Island Promotion Board to make the most of the marketing opportunities. He added that the hotel will focus more on attracting business clients, as it once did, though he explained that they have developed features to create more of a resort feel for leisure guests as well. Okay. So he says before This is a quote, "It was more of a business hotel that had a pool, and now it's a resort experience that we're striving for the business traveler and leisure traveler and groups. We've added 15,000 square feet of outdoor meeting space that didn't exist, so we can do a lot more large functions." They've hired 300 staff to operate the newly redesigned hotel, though McDermott says there are still vacancies given that the hotel's banquet kitchen is not complete. And he said that side of the business should begin to materialize in early February, along with the opening of the hotel's fine dining restaurant as well as the hotel's sushi bar. And the hotel's completely refurbished its lobby with a new resort store and lobby deli, as well as redesigned lobby bar. The pool deck features twice the pool area.
Wow.
And 288 redesigned rooms have been added to the country's inventory. All right. So, good that it's back, and wishing it all the best. And the Prime Minister and the Deputy Prime Minister saying this is going to be a major part of the revitalization of downtown. So, we will see. We will see.
Yeah. I guess we'll see.
All right.
But it sounds good.
Well, I missed that last part. Sorry.
I said it sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
All right. There are pictures in today's NASA Guardian, so be sure to pick one up or log on to the NASAGuardian.com to see them. All right. So in other news, the Prime Minister speaking about that United Nations report on arbitrary detention, the UN working group that was here a few weeks ago. Our Travis Cartwright Carroll writing about it. Prime Minister Philip Davis said yesterday he did not need a United Nations report in order for him to learn about human rights concerns in the Bahamas. The UN Working Group on Arbitrary Detention, which recently visited the country, raised significant concerns with almost every major facet of the detention process here. Those concerns ranged from allegations of police violence to obtain confessions to the inhumane conditions at the Bahamas Department of Corrections. When asked to respond to some of the findings, Davis said, quote, "I'm always concerned about these issues, particularly as it relates to human rights. This is a legacy issue that has been plaguing our administration of justice for quite a long time, and we need to address that. I'm concerned about it. I didn't need the UN report to tell me about some of these issues we have, and we are addressing them." Okay. The working group expressed worry with the frequent absence of arrest warrants, the alleged beating and torture of people under arrest to obtain confessions, and the poor conditions at the prison. The three-member group visited from November 27th through December 9th. In its preliminary report, the group noted that although the law mandates that officers bring arrested before a magistrate within a period of 48 hours after an arrest, or seek via an ex parte application an extension of 72 hours, it found cases where that was not followed. It also said more needed to be done to ensure that people under arrest have access to legal representation. The working group said it interviewed detainees who were deprived of any legal representation at the initial stages of the proceedings because they did not have the financial means. Despite the ad hoc, this is a quote, "Despite the ad hoc availability of legal representation at the magistrate's court through the legal aid clinic attached to the Eugene DePuch Law School clinic and pro bono assistance from members of the Bar Association, much broader access to state-funded lawyers is needed." Now, the Prime Minister said he understands the position of the UN. He says the UN has to appreciate, though, that we are a small country, a country of limited resources. He says we have a lot of competing interests to attract our attention for resources, so we're doing what we can within the remit of our resources. He said, quote, "We hear them and we understand what they are saying, but we also have other responsibilities to discharge, and that requires resources. And we have to be able to share those resources across the spectrum where the need is most crucial and urgent." Now, last week, National Security Minister Wayne Monroe didn't mince any words when asked to respond to the working group. He said, quote, "We are looking at it. We await the final report, but the only thing I would advise the public against, if you have to choose who you believe, you do yourself a disservice if you choose to believe in an adverse report against the very persons who you will call when somebody's at your door, who will call, who you will call when you hear gunshots in the night, who you will call when you feel threatened. So when you decide whose account to believe, I just want you to take into account that the prisoner, the criminal, would always like you to silence your watchdog.
I'm not laughing.
No, we hear you not laughing. Okay, the working group's final report will be presented to the Human Rights Council in September 2024. Now, I think that was when I was on vacation when Ron, I know you and Chester talked about it, I'm sure. But, he is, sure, it's an interesting point, but far too many people who still have respect for the police have been in those situations, though, where they know firsthand how things go.
This is true.
Especially younger people. And, so many of us have been on both sides, where we see where the police have been wonderful and know that most are probably wonderful. But we also see where, wait, why are you carrying on like this? This is unnecessary.
Correct.
All I did was ask a question, and you need to get to this. And
we saw it just the other day with the young boy in the yard, in the shopping center, where the police, was a bit extreme in how he handled the child. But then we do see cases, like you say, where they do good and they do bad.
Yeah.
I really have respect for the way the Prime Minister responded, because it's in contrast to how the response from last week, which was a more defensive post, but with the Prime Minister saying, listen, we have a problem. We know we have a problem. We have strained resources. It's not like he's trying to dodge a bullet. And that's something that you could say, okay, yes, there are other things going on. There are competing priorities. So that response is a bit more palatable than somebody telling you, you got to be careful about your watchdogs.
Yeah. Yeah. I still don't know if I think there's a better way to say I didn't need the UN to tell me this, right? I get what he's saying. We are aware. It's not like this is new stuff. We've been working. It's been a challenge, sure. But I didn't need the UN to tell me. Okay.
Right.
Anyway, which is true. It's true, but that's fine. When they fling a mic in front of you, things come out that you might not want or expect. But that's
correct.
Hey. But let's get your reaction to it, folks. We're working on it. These are things people have been complaining about for decades, not just years, decades, right? But we're still resources are limited, but we can find them for a lot of things that you have to wonder whether they were needed.
Right. Priority
that's always the issue. That's always the issue. Yeah. Let's hear what you have to say, folks. Give us a call. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Call us toll free. 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. This person says, so you're trying to tell me we don't have enough billionaires, Bahamian millionaires who could have done the same thing and finally get a piece of the tourism hotel industry? I think they're talking about the British colonial. Well, whoever those people are should have tried to buy the British colonial.
Right.
It was for sale many years ago, and they didn't do it. And these folks did. So I'm not sure what you're saying. But these things happen. Things come up for sale, not just in Nassau. But make them an offer, Bahamian millionaires. Make them an offer. They might want to sell it to you. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Into Chris.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Morning. Listen, Dwight. There is only half of the rooms in the hotel that's open. So that will be half of the rooms that's open, not half of the rooms are full, or not half of the hotel is full, right? Basically, half of the open rooms are filled, because only half of them are actually open.
Sounds like it's a little more than half, but they still have some rooms that are being repaired or worked on.
Okay?
Yeah. So they're saying could be about 60% occupancy next week.
Right.
60. That's what.
Thank you.
I mean,
So
that's
don't
what.
be misconstrued. Thanks.
That's what you're saying. Where did you get that from? I mean, that's what they're telling us.
Okay.
What?
Thank you.
You know something they don't know, or that we don't? What's happening? Who's misconstrued? Okay. They're telling you what they are telling us. You're calling them something anyway. Almost 60% occupancy. They're admitting they still have rooms to be done. I mean, okay. They needed a lot of work.
Well, that's still, I mean, to have occupancy with a soft opening so quickly, wow. And it did need a lot of work, Dwight.
Yeah, absolutely.
But what I can tell you, what it does bring is relief to those in the event space and wedding space industries who are looking for spaces to, because British Colonial before it closed was one of the more affordable and fully booked spaces for events.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I'm sure that when the event space opens up, it's going to add some relief if it's competitive.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. This texter here says, Dwight, the Prime Minister's starting to get cocky. If they report, why would the UN ask the question and they didn't give the information needed voluntarily? What? What? What are you saying? What does he mean that we are a small developing nation with limited resources? What do you mean? You don't get it? What did you think? Anyway, they continue to say, does that mean because we are small, we can beat citizens and deny human rights? No.
I don't think that's what he was saying.
No. He's saying that because it's going to take time to fix the prison and all these other detention centers. It's going to take a lot of money to get them up to the standard. That's what he means. Okay. Oh, and this next text. Okay, well, I'm not going to read that. Call in and say that. How about that? Let everyone hear you say that text. I'm not reading that. Call in 323-6232. Hopefully everyone knows who you are. 325-4316. 325-4259. Call us toll free 242-300-5720. Yeah. All right. So yeah, the pictures of wigs were out there yesterday at the British Colonial. Lots of smiling faces. So we will see. All right. So more on justice in the country. A new court complex slated for 2024. Our Tanika Thompson writing about that. The Davis administration is moving forward with plans to start construction on a new Supreme Court complex next year. Attorney General Pinder telling the Senate yesterday that the government has, through its property holding special purpose vehicle, Poinciana Holdings, concluded the purchase of number 50 Shirley Street and number 52 Shirley Street. He said ownership of the Rodney Bain building on Shirley Street has also been conveyed to the government. That wasn't owned by the government? Yeah, okay. Well. Anyway, this area will be home to the new court complex, which will house at least 19 new Supreme Courts, related judges' chambers, and support services. The complex will span Parliament to Charlotte Streets. Okay. Wow. And will be home of the new Supreme Courts. He says...
Bring me back to where where the building is, because is there parking?
No. What?
Oh.
If you could find something on the sidewalk or near the sidewalk, on the side of that hill, you could.
Maybe they'll include that as a part of the overall renovation project.
You think so?
Maybe.
Okay. Don't hold your breath. This one's Pinder says, quote, we look to proceed to demolishing the Rodney Bain building, which was, I'm adding this part now, condemned from, I think, the 90s. Maybe the early 2000s. Condemned. Anyway, and advancing the construction in 2024, we look for this to be state-of-the-art, incorporating the most modern technology and infrastructure, ensuring the judiciary functions at an optimal level, an important component of our criminal justice strategy. Now, next year, the Davis administration also plans to open a new family and juvenile courts, and the facility will allow confidentiality of sensitive family matters to be assured. He says another important component of the courts is the availability of mediation rooms and expertise for pretrial dispute resolution, especially in sensitive matters such as family disputes. The government also plans to create a commercial court, which it hopes will open next year. Back in January, at a ceremony marking the opening of the legal year, Chief Justice Sir Ian Winder spoke of the need for a new court complex as he lamented the physical state of the current structures where cases are heard. So that's encouraging. That's encouraging there. I don't know how long all of this is going to take, but that's good there.
That's good news. Maybe it gives them a facility to process quickly.
Yeah. Well, again, the challenge will be maintaining it, right? Because we'll put up these wonderful structures and then within a few months already start to see foolishness happening. So, hey. A few messages. Continue to text us 422-4796. Okay, beating people has nothing to do with resources. It's about character, and that's my point. Yeah. Well, that's we got what you were saying. But yeah, we've got some issues there. But we also are. I got to be careful how I say this. Talk out of two sides of our mouths, right? Because if you listen to people when they hear of something horrible happening and police make an arrest, they will say, right? You know what they say. Oh, I hope they beat this guy, right? They almost everybody says this stuff, and it's like shocking. You're like, okay. But when it's their son, them, daughter, whatever, like, oh my gosh, how could you? Why would you do this? This is horrible. How dare you? And it is, I'm sure, confusing and weird. This is what we're dealing with. And again, the police come from us, and this is. I'm not making excuses. I'm just saying this is how people are around here. It's very strange.
Yeah, and I think it's how it's always been. It's been that way from time. You would hear as little kids, of people getting confessions beat out of them, or it's the way that it's been for quite some time. And those, the saying, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Like those things take a really long time to evolve.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, some text messages. The person says, Dwight, I welcome the new courts, but courts means more traffic. The courts should go where the old post office was. Making more traffic downtown doesn't make sense. Yeah. Do we know what they're going to do with that building? Have they said anything there?
They knocked it down, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was supposed to, bank was supposed to move there, right?
Oh.
Yeah, but that's not happening anymore. So what's...
I wonder what they will do with it. But that's a good idea. And it has a lot of parking, a lot of space.
Yeah, it's not far from police headquarters if anything should pop off.
Yeah. Or it could be like the new bus. If we were to transform our transportation system, it could also be like a new bus terminal where things can run efficiently, maybe.
Yeah, that's too smart of a plan. That sounds perfect, but no. You know better.
You could hope. You could still have hope.
All right. As we get ready for break, this person says here, this is the same texter. What is this? DeQuesta, are they mixing you up with somebody? I don't understand. I hope DeQuesta says things when it's about women's rights. What are you talking about, texter? I hope she says when women's rights take a long time and that we can also beat women. What are you talking about?
I don't know what they're talking about.
What are you saying?
And I could say that now, but what are they talking about? I think they just miss me. That's all. Let's just go with that.
Ah, boy. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we're going to find out about the beat retreat. We got some heavy hitters in the studio with us this morning going to tell us about what we can expect tomorrow. That's coming up right after the break. Stay with us.
Oh, come, all ye faithful, joyful and triumphant. Oh, come ye to Bethlehem. Come and behold him, born the King of angels. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him in Christ the Lord.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Whether you're looking for your first or new home, or even using your existing home as equity, RBC understands that your journey to home ownership is unique, and your mortgage financing should reflect that. That is why at RBC we have dedicated mortgage specialists that provide sound advice and helpful solutions to make your dream home a reality. Best of all, the RBC mortgage team is mobile, flexible, and will meet you almost anywhere. Visit rbc.com/take 60 seconds to connect with an RBC mortgage specialist.
It is time for your first good traffic for the morning, brought to you by RBC. Visit rbc.com/Caribbean for more information. In your real-time traffic this morning, things not looking so bad at all. Again, schools are closed. We're in the Christmas spirit, and traffic issues arise much later in the day. So pretty good looking for you right now on the streets of New Providence. That's your first look at traffic this morning. We'll have another update for you after the 8 o'clock news. Morning Blend Traffic brought to you by RBC. Learn more at rbc.com/Caribbean. And time for another check of your weather, brought to you by Easy Car Sales. We've got strong high pressure across the northern Bahamas. That's supporting hazardous marine conditions along with moderate to fresh winds. Meanwhile, a departing frontal boundary near the southeast Bahamas will produce shower and thunderstorm activity as it exits the area. There is a risk of waterspout activity across the southeastern islands, and boaters should exercise caution along Atlantic exposures, while beachgoers should stay out of the water due to higher seas, rough surf, and hazardous rip currents along north and eastern shorelines. For today, for the north, for across the country, the whole country, looking at variably cloudy and breezy conditions, cool as well. Expect isolated showers with a chance of isolated thunderstorms across the southeast Bahamas. Small craft advisory remains in effect due to northerly or easterly swells, and expect gusty winds and higher seas in or near showers for the southeastern islands. Temperatures today, we're looking at highs getting up to around 77 Fahrenheit, 25 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 65 Fahrenheit, 18 Celsius. Currently in Nassau, it's about 70 degrees. In your extended outlook, a dry weather pattern will settle over the islands as strong high pressure promotes fresh to locally strong winds and cooler temperatures. Elevated seas will continue, though, through the remainder of the week. So for tomorrow, Wednesday, partly sunny and very breezy with a slight chance of light stray showers. And Thursday, cloudy and very breezy to windy with a slight chance of a light stray shower. That's your morning blend weather check. Weather check brought to you by Easy Car Sales. Easy Car Sales invites you to an electrifying experience. Take an electric vehicle for a spin and discover the future of driving today. There's an EV waiting for you at easy242.com.
Holidays this Christmas with Custom Computers. We have everything that everyone wants to see under the tree. Laptops, iPads, AirPods, Apple Watches, Bluetooth speakers, and more. Find gifts for every reason this Christmas season at Custom Computers. Visit us on Patton Street in Palmdale, opposite Liquid Courage, or in Caves Village through the Blake Road entrance. The best Christmas has to offer is right here at your one-stop shop. Custom Computers.
Take some advice from your Aunt Angie. If you're going to invest in an exotic pet, choose anything but a Norwegian forest cat. Apparently, they will eat all your jewelry. Before you know it, you're racing to the vet when your cat escapes from his carrier and lunges for your earrings. You crash and your cat swallows your pearls. But if you're smart, you'll have CG Motor Insurance and get the best comprehensive coverage for the price.
Get the best comprehensive coverage for the price. CG Atlantic Insurance Agents and Brokers. Good like that. All benefits are subject to policy provisions, including eligibility at the time of service.
What would you do with extra cash? Plan a trip.
Overhaul my wardrobe.
With CIBC First Caribbean, you can get comfy with savings on your mortgage costs. Buy or build home or switch your mortgage to us and get up to US $1,000 off the loan application fee. Up to US $2,000 off home insurance. With up to US $10,000 towards switching costs, your pockets will be comfy too. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/get comfy for more information. Conditions apply.
Have you heard about Janae's Chesapeake Road's 5 days of Christmas give back? Get up to 20% off your toys or bicycles, electronic ride-on cars, four-wheelers, and motor tricycle purchases. All electrical item sales are final. Bring in a current year Janae's back-to-school purchase receipt, valued more than $50 excluding that, and get an additional 10% off. Restrictions apply. And don't forget the Christmas decorations, balls, and ornaments. Janae's Chesapeake Road's 5 days of Christmas give back going on now. Extended store hours till 7 p.m. Hurry in and get more bang for your bucks.
My granny always said prevention is better than cure. I remember this every time I think of ransomware and my business. Ransomware is a form of malware that provides criminals with the ability to lock a computer from a remote location and then display a pop-up window informing the user that it will not be unlocked until a sum of money is paid. Don't be held at ransom. Have effective and updated internet security software and firewall running before going online. Never reply to or click on links in spam emails from companies or individuals you do not know. Remember, when it comes to ransomware, prevention is better than cure. Stop ransomware. Visit getsafeonline.bs to find out more.
Twas the heights of the season. Scotiabank wanted to give the people a lift for mom, dad, and kids. Apply for a Scotia Plan loan and unwrap the perfect Christmas gift. Fix your home, buy new appliances, or go on vacation. Scotiabank is giving holiday cheer with an all-expense-paid weekend trip for two to Miami for 3 days and 2 nights. When you apply for a Scotia Plan loan from now until December 31st, enjoy low interest rates and no payments for up to 2 months. Unwrap the perfect Christmas with Scotiabank.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Duquesa Dean. All right, so last week you told you had a whole concert here at the studio, but unfortunately cooperating. So the beat retreat, the Christmas beat retreat had to be postponed. It's now going to be Wednesday. Joining us to tell us all about it, we are very pleased to have back with us Superintendent Seldin Adderley. And we also have from the Traffic Division, Chief Superintendent David Lockhart. Great to have you both back with us again. Good morning.
Yeah, morning, Dwight.
Good morning. Good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Bahamas.
All right, so we're going to talk about the traffic issues in a bit. But let's begin with what happened on Sunday and the decision, which was a wise one. The weekend was terrible.
Certainly. Oh, God has blessed us on Sunday with showers of blessing. And I mean, you know, you are a little disappointed when your plans doesn't go the way you want it to go. But like I said, it gave us a chance to tighten up some things, to go back and do some polishing. It gave us a chance to have some people come in like today to do some last minute stuff, to be able to go back on into Rawson Square and to feel the square out a little bit. We'll be doing that a bit later on this evening. But the Beat Retreat is on, folks. The Beat Retreat is still on. Tomorrow, p.m., Rawson Square. You don't want to miss it. This is an historical Beat Retreat. The Police Band is celebrating 130 years this year. And so we have brought back all of our former members that are alive to be a part of this Beat Retreat. And so beating the drum will be persons like Douglas Turnquist, Sergeant Douglas Turnquist. We call him Freckleface. Others call him Ginger. And so he will be there. He's 74 years old. He will be beating the drum on tomorrow, Wednesday, 4 p.m.
Does he like being called those things?
I don't know. I never asked him. I know well, Ginger's his nickname. Wow. Ginger's his nickname. But as a boy, as a boy, when I go to beach, I saw a freckle face. I just saw the short drummer Howard Bethy. He's died now. I just saw the drum major Ralph throwing the mace up in the air, that kind of stuff. So just certain things. Remember Patrick Dowell playing the big cheese looking Patrick Dowell playing the trumpet. He lives in Fort Lauderdale now. So just some things that you just remember with the police band. And I'm sure younger folks now would have different persons now that they would recognize from the police band, you know. But you're gonna see our former drummers coming back beating the drum. You're gonna see our former trumpet players coming back beating the drum. Ronald Campbell, Dennis Sharp, Andrew Hunter, Maurice Arthur Prescott Turnquist, they will be there beating drum. Wayne Miller will be playing the trumpet. Wayne Miller will be beating the drum. Anthony Butler will be beating the drum. Colin Butler, BFM will be beating the drum. Ambrose Gibson will be beating the drum on Sunday. And then we have a host of our former members that's going to be coming back all into Rawson Square on the final song to be with us on Sunday. And that's what we call the theme of the BB Retreat is celebrating 130 years then and now. And so those two aspects, the drum beating and the playing of the trumpet, those are what happened before then. And then, of course, you have the current band. And so we didn't talk a whole lot about that, but I'm going to leave that as a surprise for you. We have the then, you're going to see the now with the current band, and we are bringing some surprises for you. Bring all your kids out. This is going to be a family atmosphere. Protection, of course, you're going to be there. And Mr. Lockhart is going to talk about parking because we are enough parking for everybody. And so we just want everybody, we know it's a business day, but school is closed. School is closed. And so just like how people take a little time off for this and take a little time off for the Beat Retreat and bring your family, you won't be disappointed. The Urban Renewal Band is going to start things off around 3:15 on tomorrow evening. And so that's going to be another treat for you tomorrow.
Okay, all right. And the weather's going to cooperate, it looks like.
I hope so.
Yeah,
I hope so,
very low chance of rain. It's going to be cool.
Oh, yes.
It's going to be very cool. So dress warmly.
Certainly, yes.
All right.
So tomorrow when people tell their jobs, listen, the police say I could get up early to come to the street. Don't be surprised about it. But really, when you think about 130 years, what would you say is the greatest way that things have changed? Like, obviously you're much better than you are years band first started. But what is the act that will really demonstrate how much you've changed and what you give to the public year after year?
Oh wow! Well, that's a question we usually get, and I would say this that every time you talk to a police band member, they will talk in some things that they would have done. But I would tell you the most significant change to the police band was in 1964 when Dennis Morgan came. He was a Caucasian white senior officer from the British Army Band. He came, he was stationed in Jamaica, and he came to the Bahamas, and he changed the entire police band. He changed our uniform, he brought the leopard skin, he put the red around our helmet, he changed the belts, he brought in the Beat Retreat. He brought the Beat Retreat there as well, and it's a scaled-back version of what they would have done in London, the London Beat Retreat as well. And so that would have been the most significant change for me, because we went from a band master, and then we went from part-time to full-time. Officers as well, and then we went from bandmaster to a director of music, and so there was I would say he was responsible for the biggest change that is. But what remains the same from 1893, the police band started off with about 12 to 14 members, and they would play in the square every other Friday, every fortnight Friday. They were, which is actually the cenotaph right behind the library at Shirley Street. And from then to now, people have just been wowed by the police band. They just came out in droves to watch these concerts in the park, spread their blankets, bring their chairs. Same as this today. There's still a big love for the police band. They're still performing. Crowds are still coming out. And so that has remained consistent over these many 130 years.
Excellent. Wow. All right. So someone's asking, will stores have to close early for the beat retreat?
No. I don't. Mr. Lockhart will probably talk more, but I don't think so.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this is a good one for you, Lockhart. Oh boy. Well, maybe both of you. Why can't they take the beat retreat to the National Stadium instead of blocking up downtown traffic?
Oh yeah, that's one for me.
Okay.
Here's the history about the beat retreat and the reason for the beat retreat. You know, all the things that we do prior. The beat retreat is really lowering the flag. The ceremonial part will be lower the flag. We play the sunset. We play the hymn before retreat, and because the other stuff we do before is really entertainment leading up to the beginning of the retreat. So the beginning of the retreat is really the ceremonial part when people are standing up. What happens with the beat retreat is that at wartime, the drum represents communication. It wasn't just radio and loudspeakers and stuff like that. Everything was the drum. The drum was the communication. And what happens is that at Christmas time, there'll be war the entire year. And during Christmas time, they will actually take a break from fighting. They'll take a break from crime. They'll take a break from hating each other. And so during Christmas time, this love that Jesus Christ brought into our lives was symbolic and universal, even way back then. And so the drum represented communication. So they would beat the drum, marking, and they would retreat to their barracks. And so the drum beating, the beating of the drum, returning to barracks. Our barracks is on East Street. And the barracks is normally around the coastal, and so downtown is near the sea. Downtown is also near our barracks. And so at the end of it, the beating which we asked permission from the Governor General to retire to barracks, we beat the drums. And we turn, slow march, and we turn through East Street, which represents us going into our barracks. And that is why the beat retreat can't be any place else other than Washington Square, because we have to beat the retreat to barracks to take a break from crime, to take a break from war, to take a break from all the nuances that we do during the whole year, and just have love.
Hey, and it looks good. It looks good.
Yes.
Downtown, right? And these things happen all over the world. People, right? They have big parades in the town center, so that's not. You don't want to push that into a stadium. Come on.
All lines and it's famous throughout the entire world. Universal for ending and coming into New Year's and all the rest of that stuff. The odd lang syne beating our retreat to barracks.
All right, we're going to go to the news in a second, but I know traffic is going to be a big deal. So you can give us a little tease, Chief Superintendent David Lockhart, as what time will it start? The road closures and the adjustments to parking.
Right. So the road will be closed at 2 p.m. tomorrow, and diversions will begin from then. So we have diversions going north on Navy Line Road to the wharf, and they will travel east along the wharf to East Street north, and then they'll be able to get back onto Bay Street. Those persons who come onto Bay Street from Navy Line will be diverted south onto Frederick Street. So there will be no vehicular traffic between. So we're asking persons to avoid the area. We know that most of our heavy equipment, tractor trailers, travel through Bay Street, so we're asking them to find an alternate route. Rather than coming through town, they will turn onto Nassau Street to go to Ponciana to Wolf Road to find an alternate route. Parking is going to be in the old Victoria Garden complex, and then
only like 20 cars could fit there, though, right?
No, more than that. Areas that were cleared just east of Elizabeth Avenue, in the area of the old tourism police. All of those vacant lots have been allocated for parking.
All right, we'll go through it when we get back after the news. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio. Stay with us. Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your television, channel 969 and BTC Flow channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. Text us 422-4796. And now at 8:17, time for another check of your weather for today. We've got strong high pressure that continues to build across the northern islands, and that's going to support hazardous marine conditions along with moderate to fresh winds. Meanwhile, a departing frontal boundary near the southeast Bahamas will continue to produce some showers and thunderstorms as it moves away from the area. There is a risk of waterspout activity in the southeast Bahamas, and boaters should exercise extreme caution along Atlantic exposures, while beachgoers should stay out of the water as there's high seas, rough surf, and hazardous rip currents along north and eastern shorelines. For today, your forecast for the country, we're looking at variably cloudy, breezy conditions, cool as well. Expect isolated showers with a chance of a few isolated thunderstorms across the southeast Bahamas. Small craft advisory remains in effect due to the presence of easterly swells. And again, expect gusty winds and higher seas in showers or thunderstorms in the southeastern Bahamas. Temperature-wise, today we're looking at highs getting to around 77 Fahrenheit, 25 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 65 Fahrenheit, 18 Celsius. We're currently at about 71 right now in Nassau under mostly cloudy skies. In your extended outlook, a drier weather pattern will settle over the islands as strong high pressure promotes fresh to locally strong breezes and cooler temperatures. Elevated seas will continue, though, through the remainder of the week. So for tomorrow, Wednesday, for the beach retreat, look for partly sunny and very breezy conditions with a slight chance of a light stray shower. Thursday, cloudy and very breezy to windy with a slight chance of a light stray. Weather check. Time for another check of traffic for the morning, brought to you by RBC. Visit rbc.com/Caribbean for more information. In your real-time traffic, seeing a bit of congestion on Tawny Bloom's Darling Highway as you exit or head west from the roundabout with Independence Drive and Blue Hill Road. That's going to take you straight up to Bahamas Games Boulevard. That's looking busy there. Elsewhere, not looking so bad. Just a bit of congestion at Milo Butler Highway as you approach the roundabout with Tawny Bloom's Darling Highway. And similar story on Gladstone Road. As you get closer to Munnings Road, you'll see some traffic ahead of you heading toward the roundabout with JFK Drive. Elsewhere, so far, looking pretty good on the streets in New Providence. Don't get used to it, though. School will be back in the new year, only a few weeks away. That's your Morning Blend traffic brought to you by RBC. Learn more at rbc.com/Caribbean.
When faced with an illness like cancer, we band together, and we at Cleveland Clinic in Florida have your back. From advanced cancer treatments to extra safety measures at all of our locations, we're with you on this journey for every infusion and follow-up, for every step of the way, for every care in the world. Cleveland Clinic in Florida. Get the care you need when and where you need it. To learn more or connect with a local representative, visit clevelandclinic.org/Caribbean.
Twas the heights of the season. Scotiabank wanted to give the people a lift for mom, dad, and kids. Apply for and unwrap the perfect Christmas gift. Fix your home, buy new appliances, or go on vacation. Scotiabank is giving holiday cheer with an all-expense-paid weekend trip for 2 to Miami for 3 days and 2 nights. When you apply for a Scotia Plan loan from now until December 31st, enjoy low interest rates and no payments for up to 2 months. Unwrap the perfect Christmas with Scotiabank.
You've tried everything. ASUS with your mother's cousin's sister's auntie, and even hiding your money under your mattress. But is your money safe? Your Bahamian dollar deposit in a member bank or credit union is insured up to $50,000. If anything happens, your deposit up to the insured value will be returned to you thanks to Deposit Insurance. Visit Deposit Insurance Corporation at www.dic.bf.
Protection for your money guaranteed with DIC.
Enjoy the magic of Christmas at Nassau Cruise Port all December long. Visit Santa and his helpers at Santa's workshop for holiday photos. Enjoy Christmas caroling, wreath decorating, mixology classes, and movie marathons. And of course, come for the great concerts and holiday shopping. Nassau Cruise Port is your ultimate destination for Christmas fun. Visit NassauCruisePort.com and follow us on Facebook and Instagram for details. Nassau Cruise Port, the
electric vehicle in town. The Jack brand of SUVs, trucks, sedans, and commercial vans available only at Easy Car Sales, home of the fully electric vehicle. For a powerful, smooth ride at a fraction of the cost to drive, leave the pump behind and hit the road with Jack. Visit easy242.com to see our brand new Jack models and drop into Easy Car Sales for a test drive. It'll have you singing. Hit the road with Jack, and don't you pump gas no more.
The National Insurance Board encourages all employers and self-employed persons to stay ahead of the 2024 rush by scheduling a meeting with your inspector today. A one-on-one appointment with your inspector ensures that your account is up to date and compliant, making it a hassle-free process when applying for your tax compliance certificates and business license renewals with the Department of Inland Revenue. Stay ahead, avoid delays. Keep your business thriving. Contact your inspector now. Your success is our priority.
Get ready to jingle all the way to Christmas with Fidelity's festive giveaway with over $10,000 in cash and prizes up for grabs. Apply for a loan or open it and pay. Visit any of our branches for more details. Terms and conditions apply.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Showtime!
We are back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with DeQuesta Dean. I wish what we were talking about off air we could have had on air. We had so many great We've got Superintendent Seldin Adderley and Chief Superintendent David Lockhart in studio with us. We're talking about the Beat Retreat, which is postponed. It's scheduled now for tomorrow afternoon, 4 p.m. in downtown Nassau. Chief Superintendent Lockhart started to talk about the traffic diversions and the parking. Okay, so let's talk more about the parking. Where will people, because work is going to be going on, people are still working on Wednesday afternoon, and that means there's going to be much fewer spots available. So what will people do?
Right. So, like I indicated before we went on a break, the old Victoria Gardens parking lot will be available. The old City Market on Market Street is available. All of the areas that have been cleared of those derelict buildings east of Elizabeth Avenue will be available.
You have to pay to park in those?
No, those are free parking. All of the parkings I've indicated just now are free. And of course, you have a number of paid parking spots in the area. As you indicated, it's a regular work day. So most of the persons who typically already take the parking slots prior to the road closure, those parking areas will be already taken. We're asking persons tomorrow and for the rest of the shopping days leading right up to Sunday to please pack your is going to.
I thought you were going to say stay home. No, don't. Okay, no. Pack your patience.
Yeah,
sure.
Pack your patience. It has always been, once government payday comes through, the traffic tends to double and triple on the road. You're going to have gridlock traffic in the morning and in the evening when persons are trying to complete their shopping. We don't have enough police to police all of the traffic congestions we have. Of course, I'm going to have motorcyclists on patrol, but they only can do so much. So we're asking persons, please pack patience, please drive with caution and care, and always be aware of your surroundings. We are seeing too often that crashes that could be avoided are happening.
Right.
And then persons, there is a little wait time for the investigation, and that's because how many crashes we have happening at one time. The police can only do as much as the public assists us with.
Yeah.
So if you drive with caution and care, then we shouldn't have as much accidents to investigate. We have too many persons running the traffic light. And that is very dangerous in itself. We do have a new tool in our arsenal prior to, I would say, August of this year. When you have traffic accidents at the intersection, it was hard to determine who ran the traffic light because everybody was saying they have the green light. With Ministry of Works, we have a number of mechanisms in place now. We can tell you who actually ran the light and what color the light was on at the time the actual crash occurred.
Can you tell us more?
So we
But that's built in. That's at every one or the major intersection?
That is at 95% of the traffic
that's great.
control intersection.
Okay.
So no more do the police have that, and it's immediately accessible to us.
You've already started using this?
We have been using it now for weeks. I actually can go.
How many people have you caught in a lie?
Quite a bit.
Oh, boy.
Quite a bit. Quite a bit.
Are we going to get to the place where we can send tickets to people for running the lights or creating third lanes where the police presence isn't necessarily needed, but these cameras will aid in finding the offenders and like sending them tickets?
Right. So off air, we were talking about that. That is something that was highlighted in a recent traffic conference that was held on Paradise Island just about a month or two ago. And they had these new advanced traffic cameras. That is a work in progress. I think we need to get to that point because of the amount of persons that have no respect for the traffic lights.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that we get to that point sooner than later.
On the show for the past few days, but this is, you've noticed it, right? The hatchback drivers. Something's up, right? It's not just me.
The white say that again?
Hatchback, the terrorists.
Oh.
terrorists. You're laughing, but this is a serious thing, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It is. I don't, there's no quick solution to it. Every day we try and deal with them, and that is all we can continue to try and do, and to deal with them. But they're an issue. These persons, especially young persons who are on the road driving cycles that are unlicensed, uninsured, and they don't have any care for their life or the life of any other person on the road. They're popping wheelies in the middle of traffic. Dwight, we caught 2 young guys on the sidewalk where pedestrians was popping the cycle.
Wow.
While pedestrians was on. They have no care.
That's crazy.
No care. And we especially when it comes to young persons, and everyone that see the increase, we have a massive increase of motorcycles. Massive.
Yeah.
And I would tell you, most of them are not licensed and insured.
Yeah.
And every day we confiscate, we report, but because if they can produce documentation to show that they legitimately own the cycles, we cannot keep it. It's their property.
Oh.
So the only thing we can do is report them, and we'll continue to report them.
But even from not wearing helmets, that is against the law, right? You're required to wear a helmet.
You're required to wear a helmet. You're required to inspect, license, and insure your cycle. Your cycle must have a license plate and a license disaffix. The same requirements for a vehicle is the same requirement for a motorcycle. The exact same.
How often are you writing tickets for people not wearing their helmets?
We are writing tickets daily. When I was on another talk show last week when I did the numbers, we have issued over 12,000 tickets this year for multiple offenses on models. Just recently, we started enforcing the commercial driver's license. The law required that persons driving these heavy equipment must be in possession of a commercial driver's license. So we're targeting them now. The omnibuses, the taxi drivers who are not properly licensed. We're targeting everyone who is committing a traffic offense.
And this may sound like a very crazy question, but are they paying the tickets? We need consequences. But if we issue the ticket, are they really paying these fines?
So you have some persons, I would say most of the persons are paying it. The beauty of the ticket is you're given a date to pay. If you don't pay, then you're given a court date. It converts into a summons, which summons you before the court on your second date. If you do not pay and you do not appear, it becomes a warrant of arrest. So warrants are being issued for persons who do not pay the tickets.
Wow. All right, we're going to get back to these issues in a little bit. We don't have too much time. So we're talking about the Beat Retreat, but also there's another big event coming up on Thursday that motorists need to be mindful of.
Yes.
Tell us about this annual. This is a traffic. You need like a Armageddon type thing. Tell everybody about this.
Right. So on every year for many years now, Island Luck has been doing their Christmas giveaway that is held at the Sports Center. This attracts thousands and thousands of motorists. And it will cause a massive congestion all around the sports center. So you can look for University Drive, University Commons, Bahamas Game Boulevard, all that area around Government High School, the racetrack, the new Bethel Avenue, all of Oaksfield, all that area will be congested.
Every street leading to the sports center.
Every street leading to the sports center.
Miles and miles of traffic.
Miles.
It feels like people drive from other countries to get here.
Yes, I know last year.
What time?
So it starts at 7 a.m. and it goes until about midday, but persons start parking from about 1, 2 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah.
So I would say to persons who are not going to that event, avoid the area. If you have to go to work, don't come that route. I know last year we had persons who said they were in traffic over 2 hours just trying to get out.
Duquesne last year, I knew it was happening, but I forgot. And I was on Bahamas Games Boulevard. I was blocked. I was late for the show. I had to turn around at some point. Did I drive over the median? I don't remember how I got here. But I had to go back to go around several miles to get to the studio.
Wow, that
yeah.
would definitely test your limited patience, officers. Dwight, that must have been frustrating.
Oh, it was terrible. Yeah,
it's going to be a very massive traffic congestion, and that's why we're saying persons who don't have to come that area, avoid it at all costs.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're going to have some traffic management in place to try and mitigate some things on University Boulevard, but all the areas leading to it are going to be very bad.
We're not knocking Island Luck. It's a wonderful thing that they're doing, a great initiative, but it's just that it gets crazy. It gets crazy. So keep that in mind. That's Thursday morning. And often it starts in the wee hours of the morning.
Right. So persons, like I said, start typically parking at 1 a.m.
Wow.
But the actual giveaway does not start till 7 a.m.
Okay.
Wow. So we need something definitely flying around on social media and on WhatsApp. Something just people are just forwarding about the tomorrow's closures and also Thursday morning madness.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. All right. So let's bring Seldin Adderley back in. Superintendent Adderley, one more time, remind us of what we can expect tomorrow afternoon in downtown Nassau.
Yes, Dwight, thanks so much. Tomorrow, 4 p.m., Wednesday, 4 p.m., Rawson Square, the annual Christmas Beat Retreat. The Commissioner of Police, Mr. Clayton Fernandez, inviting everyone, families, come out and support the Beat Retreat. You know, the Beat Retreat is always filled. You know, we are the bleachers are always filled. But this year, we believe it's going to be doubly filled because all the performers have been asking the former band members, they're all bringing their families. They have been played in the police band now for decades, some 20 years, some 20 plus years. And so we know that they are bringing their families. So you want to come early to get a seat. The Urban Renewal Band will be striking up just after 3 p.m. And so if you get that 2:30, at 2:45, at 3 o'clock, you're going to have a good show prior to 4 p.m. When the Governor General arrives. The official Beat Retreat will begin. And like I say, it's going to be such a wonderful time. What we call the finale part of it, where we have all the singers come out, the National Children's Choir will be assisting us this year. Oh man, you want to hear those voices of those young children just singing away. I mean, they will be performing with them. We thank Brother Ashley so much for the assistance with the youth choir. Of course, we have persons like, we call him the Golden Voice, Mr. Peter Mortimer. Oh my goodness, he hasn't sang with the police band in years. I'm talking about like 20 years. He will be back. Mr. Sylvester George will be playing his trombone, and so he and all his church members will be there. He has a really large walking crowd in the east there. They go to 4 o'clock every morning. It's such a big crowd of them. And he has assured me that all of them will be there at the Beat Retreat as well. And so we are looking forward to a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful time at the Beat Retreat. We have Ms. Danielle Dean and Mr. David Cox Jr. will be singing The Greatest Gift. And let me just tell you, there's a WhatsApp going on with this young girl, 7 years old, singing The Greatest Gift with the police band with one of our singers, Mr. Mitty Road. It's been going around now for weeks. And so I'm sure people have seen this WhatsApp with the young girl singing. I think she has a red shirt on and a skirt. She's walking down the bleachers singing The Greatest Gift. She will be back. She is Danielle Dean. She sang with us years ago at the age of 7, and she's all grown up now. She'll be singing the exact same song, The Greatest Gift of All, along with another young David Cox Jr. We call him our star, Master David Cox Jr. So now the roles have been reversed. We had a young girl singing with a older police officer. This time, Danielle now is all grown up. And she'll be singing with a younger gentleman this time. So the roles will be reversed, and then we'll bring David Cox back a little bit later when he gets up, and we'll pair him with somebody else. And so it's going to be such a wonderful time. So I don't want to talk about this one, but you have to be out there on tomorrow evening. It's going to be such a wonderful time. The Beat Retreat is normally an hour, but because this one is so historic, we're bringing back so much of our stars, we're probably going to extend it for like an hour and a half. And so you're going to be a wonderful treat. It's going to be a wonderful production. You don't want to miss it on tomorrow, 4 p.m. The Commissioner of Police, Mr. Clayton Fernandez, is inviting all of you to come down family atmosphere. You won't be disappointed. It's going to be a really, really, really great time. Come early to get your seats. Come early to get your seats on those bleachers. It's going to be a wonderful time. Yeah.
Okay, all right. And the diversions again, David Lockhart, begin
at 2
o'clock tomorrow. Tomorrow. All right. Before we let you go, last week you spoke to one of the papers about the insurance issue, and it's been generating lots of talk on this station over the past ever since that morning when it was printed. But let's talk a little bit more about this. You said something off air about this, and for those who don't know what I'm talking about, you said that in the accidents that we've seen this year alone, more than 50% of those involved drivers with no insurance.
No insurance. So we have just, I'd say, around 6,500 accidents in New Providence. And half of that 65, there was no insurance on the vehicles. That is creating an economic burden on those persons who are not at fault.
Yeah.
We've had fatalities where persons lost their life and there is no insurance. Of course, we charge them, but there is no compensation, as money can't bring back a life. But if a young father is killed and he left 2 children and he was providing for them, then you can imagine the burden now that either becomes on the state or becomes on some family member. So we continue to report these persons.
Yeah.
They continue to break the law. At some point, there has to be some drastic changes as the law that relates to driving a vehicle uninsured and the period of what the insurance should cover when you license the vehicle.
Right. That sounds simple, right? Right now, you're only required to have insurance on the day that you go to register.
That's it. The law only requires that on the day that you license your vehicle, it's insured. So if you license it today and your insurance expires tomorrow, your car is licensed for 1 year.
Yeah. So that's a simple fix for our lawmakers. I don't know what you do when you go to the House. I mean, this should be the number one priority. That's what I'm saying, right? To fix this so that the license period is covered.
Right. So what I personally would like to see, that the insurance period is the same as the license period. So if you're licensed for 1 year, you should be insured for 1 year.
Yeah.
That's a simple.
And if you heard the show yesterday, you heard Timothy Ingram, who's in the insurance industry. He's the chair of the Chamber of Commerce, talking about all these horrible experiences, the claims they've had to make, people being killed, maimed by even companies driving vehicles without insurance. And people's lives have been destroyed. Every day this is happening.
Every day.
Wow.
Lawmakers, what are you doing? Anyway. Superintendent Seldin Adderley, we're looking forward to the beat retreat tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be great. I just want to also mention his original song tomorrow, the beat retreat. But this last one, Rudy Pratt. Everybody knows Rudy Pratt. I mean, he's been singing for years in the blues band. There's 3 generations of him. Himself will be singing, with his son Rudy Pratt Jr. will be playing the sousaphone, and Rudy's Jr. son Ryan Pratt. So you have Rudy Pratt Sr., Rudy Pratt Jr., and then Ryan Pratt will be singing. You have 3 generations of the Pratt family that will be participating on the beat retreat tomorrow. Excellent. You don't want to miss it. 4 p.m. Rawson Square is going to be a wonderful experience. Bring the entire family out. You can park. Parking is free. You can find parking. It's security. I mean, it's going to be a wonderful time. You don't want to miss it. 4 p.m. Rawson Square. The Urban Renewal Band starts at 3:15. Get your seats early. Come on out. You're gonna really enjoy Christmas with the
Thank you
Blues
so
Band.
much, Superintendent Seldin Adderley, Chief Superintendent David Lockhart. Thank you. I know we'll be talking a whole lot more in the new year. Merry Christmas to you and your families, and thank you so much.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes,
We're going to take a break and be back with more Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
At RBC, we know buying your new ride is a very personal experience with many decisions to make. That's why we leave the car choice to you and ask that you leave the rest to one of our RBC Auto Finance specialists trained to provide sound advice. The RBC Auto Finance team is mobile, flexible, and will meet you almost anywhere. Visit rbc.com/lovemyride to connect with an RBC Auto Finance specialist in your area.
Cashmas is here at Percy's Island Game. 78 winners, $250,000 in cash and prizes, and a grand prize of $50,000 in cash. And there's more! 7-day Caribbean and Alaska cruises, 7-day trips to New York, Las Vegas, and London, TVs, iPads, cell phones, and 3 brand new 2023 Toyotas. Enter to win each time you deposit $20 on your verified account at the only place with the cash, the cruises, the toys, the trips, and the cars this Cashmas, and that's Percy's Island Game.
There's a new electric vehicle in town. The Jack brand of SUVs, trucks, sedans, and commercial vans. Available only at Easy Car Sales, home of the fully electric vehicle. For a powerful, smooth ride at a fraction of the cost to drive, leave the pump behind and hit the road with Jack. Visit easy242.com to see our brand new Jack models and drop into Easy Car Sales for a test drive. It'll have you singing. Hit the road with Jack, and don't you pump gas no more.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Showtime!
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan, along with DeQuesta Dean. All right, so we told you we've got a couple of authors we're going to be talking with this morning. Our first guest has a new book, and it's the first in a series of children's books. And Lazar Charlton is joining us now. Good morning, sir. Great to have you with us.
Good morning. Thanks so much for having me.
All right, so you're in real estate.
Yes.
How did you get from that to this?
Yeah, so I've been working in real estate for the past 4 years now. I'm also co-owner of The New Duff. But I've always had a knack for writing. It's been kind of a secret passion and hobby of mine. And I just had an idea one day that kind of turned into a bit of a passion project. And it's kind of snowballed into something that means a lot to me when it comes to the education system, educating kids of the Bahamas.
Yeah. All right. So tell us about it and how it came to be, and then we'll get into some of the details of the characters.
All right. So the book is called The Adventures of Cohen: Journeys with Bahamian Heroes, and the main protagonist of the book, his name is Cohen Burrows. He's actually a real boy. He's my younger cousin, actually.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So he might not remember this, but one time I was having a conversation with him about who the gentleman on the Bahamian $1 bill is. And as we all know, it's Sir Lyndon Pindling, our first Prime Minister of the Bahamas. Mm-hmm. Now, he was aware of who he was, but he didn't know too much about his life. And I found that most of young kids these days aren't really familiar of any of our nation builders. So I had an idea to maybe, write a little script or project about educating kids about Sir Lyndon Pindling. And it turned into this book project that I'm very, very proud of and very, very happy about. And it's going to be the first in a series of 3. And my ultimate goal is to get it in the Bahamian education system. And I want every single Bahamian kid to have a copy. I would like for it to be in schools because I think that it's a very, very important link for kids to have between their history and appreciating what they have here in the Bahamas today.
Mm-hmm. And this will make a very nice Christmas gift, I'm sure.
Yes, sir, it will.
Okay. All right. So tell us about getting it created. What was that process like, from taking it from the idea to having it printed?
Yeah, it was quite the process. It was a little bit more anything that's worth it usually is. I self-published the book. I actually connected with a very good friend of mine, Dahar Butler, who is the illustrator of the project. He's a phenomenal Bahamian artist. And I really, really wanted the book to be comic book style because when I was a kid, between my older brother and I, we had hundreds of comics and we loved to read comics. My mother, she would buy us whatever books that we wanted. And comic books were luckily one of the types of books that we got to choose from every single year. And so I just thought that the comic book style, the vibrant colors would be a great vehicle to kind of share the story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What's the response been like so far?
The response has been great. The target age is from 7 to 13, but adults love the book as well. They love the storyline, some of the jokes in there. They love to see the development of Cohen himself. So I think that it's going to continue to connect with people across the board.
Mm-hmm. When can we expect the next in series?
I'm going to start writing, I believe, in January. I have a couple ideas of who I would like the next nation builder to be featured. Cohen is once again going to be in the book. And I'm going to start writing in January and then hopefully have a release later on in 2024, sorry. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How long? Is it that the objective is to have one hero per book?
Absolutely, yes. Sir Lyndon Pindling, he's probably going to make a bit of a cameo in the second book as well. But I definitely want to have one hero per book. The Bahamian public in general to learn the life story about one of the nation builders that I'm going to choose to be in the second and third book.
Wow! And how long did the last one take? And how did it work with the illustrator, Dahar Butler, to get your vision illustrated?
Yeah, writing the story itself, it took me about a month, of just on and off writing. And then I kind of started sharing it with a few close friends and family members of mine to kind of help me, streamline and edit the story. And then I connected with Dahar. He was pretty excited about it. I knew that I wanted to use him because I loved his style of artistry. And so from start to finish, I would say it took the better part of a year with, matching the story up with the illustration panels. And then you have to find somewhere to get it printed. And then you also have to figure out what type of paper you'd like to use, how large you want the book to be, how bright the colors are, should we tone it down? So it was quite the process, but like I said before now, it was definitely worth it.
Yeah. And what about international presence? Are you looking at, or do you think the topic will be a little too restrictive? What do you make of that?
Not really. I've had a lot of friends of mine who live abroad who have requested the book in the U.S. and in Canada, and I've already mailed it out. I hope to get it on Amazon at the start of the new year. A lot of Bahamians abroad, actually, who have seen the release, they started requesting it as well for their kids. Their Bahamian. I've been really, really happy to hear and see that some of our Bahamians who have had children in the U.S., in Canada, and the U.K., actually, they would like this book to give their kids a little piece of their heritage.
Yeah. So you're saying it's a series of 3.
Yes.
Right? What after? Do you have any plans for after the first 3?
Not any immediate plans. I've thrown some stuff around with Tahar, maybe some animation, something cool like that. Yeah, it's pretty much limitless as far as the characters can go. Like I said before, my ultimate goal is to have it be a part of the Bahamian curriculum. So we'll see what happens. I have some ideas in mind, that I'm working on. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Does that include like a TV series?
Yes. Once again, I don't want to say too much because we're kind of still chatting about it and some ideas are in development. But yeah, that is one of the things.
And I know you're new to it, but what advice would you give to somebody who's thinking, hey, I kind of had an idea for a book or a children's book, but I don't know. What would you say to them?
To be honest, it just takes sitting down and just getting to it. You don't have to plan a date. You just have to have the idea, and then when the words come to you, you open up your laptop and you just start typing, and then you'll see where it goes from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, all right. So where can folks find The Adventures of Cohen?
It is sold in the New Duff on West Bay Street, Logos Bookstore in Harbor Bay Shopping Center, and in the Lyford Key Tennis Boutique.
Okay. Excellent stuff. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
And looking forward to more of this from you. This is a big market. The children's book market is huge.
Absolutely,
and some
yeah.
people have become, my God, they've achieved some great success with this. So we're wishing that on you, Lazar. Thank you so much, Lazar Charlton. Again,
Thank you.
The Adventures of Cohen. And
all the best.
All the best.
Thank you so much.
And Merry Christmas.
Same to you.
All right. We're going to take a break for news and be back. We're going to meet another author when we come back in business. This is the Countdown to Christmas is on here on Guardian Radio 96.9.
They told me, a newborn king to see, I'll find his gifts will bring, to lay before the king,
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
The views and opinions of the host and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Tuesday, December 18th, 19th, 2023. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan, along with Duquesa Dean. And it's a special edition of the show today. We've got a special theme today. We've got authors on with us this morning, and we're very pleased to have Kevin Benaby with us, who has a book called I Forgive, An Inner Lane Toward Forgiveness. Sir, great to have you with us. Good morning.
It's good to be here.
Get a little closer to that
Morning,
microphone.
Kevin.
It's good to be here. And who am I
That's
listening to?
Duquesa Dean.
There we go. Good to have you. Good to be here. And it's been a long time in coming.
Yes.
Now we're here.
It's finally happy to have you. A lot to talk with you about, but let's begin with the theme of the book. I forgive. Those are some hard words to say.
Indeed, forgiveness is a challenge for a number of individuals. There is of course, universal problem with forgiveness in the lives of so many. A struggle, if you may. I recall a friend who described his relationship with his father, how that because of an incident, there was unforgiveness, and their relationship had been torn asunder for about 25 years. And one can only wonder what could have been in that relationship if there was forgiveness, if there was a restoration of that relationship, absent of unforgiveness. And so, yes, it's a challenge everywhere. Offense is constant. We are offended in many ways, and of course, offense provides the platform for unforgiveness if it's not dealt with properly. That is the offense.
But do you always have to forgive? I mean, some things that are unforgivable.
The thing about forgiveness, Dwight, is that forgiveness is for the person who has been offended. And so, when you look at the benefit of forgiveness, and you ask that question, do I always have to forgive? You could probably ask yourself, well, if I fail to forgive, what would happen to me? You know, I will probably be on some sort of self-sabotaging pattern, self-hurt, if I fail to forgive, because really unforgiveness is detrimental to all of us. And so we say that there's an option of forgiveness. You don't have to forgive, but then again, we have to ask ourselves, what will happen to me, my psychological state, my physiological state, my spiritual state, if I fail to forgive? And so we are saying there's the option of forgiveness. And so if I look at the benefit of forgiveness, then I realize, you know what, I should strive for it. I should seek to attain it. I should seek to incorporate it into my life. Actually, forgiveness should be, as we look at our interpersonal relationships, forgiveness should be a constant so that we can reach our relationships. And so the offense is a constant. Matter of fact, the great teacher said, it's inevitable that offense will come. That is Jesus Christ, the great teacher. So offense will come. Okay, so that we may retain our valuable relationships, the forgiveness, in one sense, should keep in step with the offense.
Okay, all right, you said a lot. I have many, many, many questions. Okay, let's begin with the benefits of forgiveness. What are some of the benefits of forgiving somebody?
Well, there's that emotional benefit. Okay, of course, when we think about unforgiveness, you have that grudge towards an individual who might have offended you. You have the feeling of payback. And then, of course, there's this rumination that comes along with unforgiveness. There's this psychological burden. Actually, it could be described as a yoke, unforgiveness, around one's productivity, impeding one's functionality. And, of course, it provides a hurdle and presents a hurdle to our interpersonal relationships, the harmony that can exist. And so when we look at the benefits then you realize, okay, if I release my offender from the debt that came from their offense towards me, if I release them, then of course I'm better off psychologically. I no longer carry that weight around. I'm better able to function in my daily activities. And then also my health also is improved, okay? There's studies that link health issues to unforgiveness, okay? And of course, one significant benefit from forgiving the offender is that the interpersonal relationship is improved, and so I'm able to hold on to the value of the relationship. And so we must appreciate that the offense does not encapsulate the offender. There's more to the offender than the offense.
Right. All right. So I get this in, as you say, interpersonal relationships. But when you're dealing with somebody who has maybe murdered your mother or your child or stolen all your life savings or fired you and destroyed your reputation, can you forgive in those circumstances?
It hurts. It hurts. Forgiveness hurts. I mean, offense hurts. We're not taking away from that. Some offenses are very traumatic and painful. You think about a violent rape. Somebody's being violently raped and violated. It hurts. We're not disputing that. But through the offense, there's still the option. Remember now that forgiveness is for the person offended primarily. Okay, their well-being. In other words, forgiveness places the offended on the path to healing. Okay, self-healing, and so as long as the person holds on to unforgiveness, again, those things that we just talked about, the emotional weight, the yoke, so to speak, the health issues. That was an individual, while I was in the process of conducting, I guess, surveys and moving towards writing the book. There was an individual who said that who I had encountered, she indicated that she had challenges forgiving herself because of her habit of staying up late at night and worrying and being concerned, I guess, for whatever. And what happened is that because of her tendency and habit of staying up late at night, she developed health issues. And so challenged forgiving herself because of that. But then again, as she would fail to forgive self, then it also poses a challenge upon her. And so there's the negativity attached to failure to forgive the offender, but also failure to forgive self. And so there's again a great benefit, significant primary benefit to the offended as they would release the offender from their debt that came through the offense.
So may I ask then, how does your book speak to forgiveness without like reconciliation or forgiveness without having to have a relationship with that person that you've forgiven? Because in those instances that Dwight just spoke about, where there's tremendous pain, when one hears the word forgive, you may think that, okay, we're going to have a somewhat cordial relationship. So how does your book address forgiveness without, a relationship continuing or, that sort of thing?
A good question. We must appreciate that forgiveness is not reconciliation. In other words, reconciliation is different from forgiveness. Now, reconciliation could occur through forgiveness. But of course, sometimes reconciliation is not even advised. You think about an abusive situation where somebody's being beaten physically, okay? While the one abused may release the offender from previous offenses, that doesn't mean that they must go back into that abusive situation, particularly if there's no change in the offender. And so we must appreciate that forgiveness is not necessarily reconciliation, but reconciliation could occur through forgiveness. And so some situations encourage reconciliation. Other contexts, again, will I guess, not be so friendly towards reconciliation. And so we must appreciate what forgiveness is. It has to do with a release of the debt. It's primarily for the individual. You're no longer taking into account, so to speak, the wrong suffered. You're no longer paying attention to it. Now, that does not mean that reconciliation will take place. Some people have, who offended us, they have died. We never really reconciled with them. We really never really make amends with them. Some people have moved away. And so reconciliation in a lot of instances is not possible. But that isn't what you had.
And time really does allow for a lot of these things to happen.
Yes.
Much more easily.
Yes, time does help us to bring about, to experience different perspectives on the situation. And actually, the book helps us to appreciate the concept of recontextualization. In other words, you're seeing the offender and the offense in a different light. And that is so important to releasing them. To releasing them. So let me just say, see, we could say this. The offender was not, as we move towards empathy for the offender was not always the offender, you know. The offender grew up in a certain environment, certain context where things perhaps were not present, or things were added. Think about abuse, you know. And so, as we move towards releasing the offender, empathy is very important. Empathy is very important. Recognizing that the offender was not always there. Actually, all of us, in one sense, were in a pristine state. You think about a kindergarten setting. You think about and you can understand why the Creator loves us so. You think about the faces of those young toddlers, innocent, impressionable. Okay, they speak to the innocence of us all. We were there, but life happened. Circumstances happen. Our various contexts, the environment that we grew up in, mold us, helped to shape us and mold us. And so the offender came up in an environment. There might have been lack, something added that caused them to be where they are today. And so if I move towards empathy, which is so important to releasing the offender, I can appreciate, you know what, something was absent in your.
Yeah, but if only that offender had some empathy. I mean, we wouldn't come, right? So, I mean, and so many people are doing things and hoping that, okay, I'm sorry, and then you'll forgive me, and they just get away scot-free from the foolishness they've done intentionally that they knew they were going to get into problems with. I mean, it just makes it so hard to even talk about forgiving.
Yeah, maybe on a first offense, eh? Maybe.
But if you're a serial offender.
Yeah, remember now, we must appreciate that the forgiving the offender is primarily for you. Okay? Now, that doesn't mean that the offender, who is a serial offender, wouldn't have to face the consequences for his serial offending. But as we look, the book talks about the context of offense. In other words, why we offend. Now, why are we offended? Why is it that we encounter individuals who offend us? Individuals may be selfish, okay, looking after their own interests. They may be intolerant. They may demonstrate a lack of respect. So we're not at all excusing the offender here. You know, actually, forgiveness is not excusing the offense.
Okay.
It is not, you know, enabling the offense. Okay, but we must not at all fail to appreciate the value of forgiveness. Appreciating that forgiveness is primarily for the offender, the offended.
Right.
Should you forgive if the offender does not show remorse?
Again, it's primarily for you. In other words, that is the offended. Okay, so. The offender does not show remorse. The offender continues on in his or her wrong behavior. The offender is callous, not checking for you, rude, obnoxious, defiant in their state.
Bragging about what they've done.
Yeah. Shine in such a situation. Releasing the individual. Remember, like it's primarily for you. Again, unforgiveness is like that yoke around your neck, okay, that impedes you as an individual, psychologically, physiologically, as well as spiritually. Okay, so if I appreciate the primary beneficiary of the forgiveness, then I realize, hey, I can still release this person, although they are still in their wrong behavior, they ain't checking. It's primarily for me. Okay, so we don't want to again confuse forgiveness in terms of it's not hinged to the behavior in one sense of the offender dirt. Now, some offenders, they show remorse. They would be different because they value the relationship, and they make releasing them easier from the debt that came through the offense. Some offenders, on the contrary, they don't make it easier for us to release them.
Yeah.
But some offenders, actually there's a chapter in the book that deals with fertile grounds for forgiveness, okay, where we would identify certain attributes and behavior in the offended that makes it easier for us to release them. You know, if you see change in the offender, if you see them making a difference, fighting for the relationship, you know, yeah, that makes it easier to release them.
So you would say that forgiveness and boundaries work hand in hand together? Is that what I'm hearing you say?
I think so, yes. There's a measure of boundary setting that comes along with forgiving individuals, because you can't change individuals. You can't live for people. You can't make decisions for them. You know, you in some cases you wish you could. In some cases you wish you could live for them or you know, act on their behalf. But no, we can't. And so really forgiveness is for you. And indeed, as you would release the offender, you're indeed saying, no, I'm not going to allow the attitude of my offender to get to me. I'm not going to allow them to cause me to be less of what I could be in my functionality, in my functioning, and my day-to-day activity. No, I'm going to not allow this yoke of unforgiveness to ensnare me. Okay? And so, yes, boundary setting is associated with forgiveness. Actually, there's a chapter in the book that deals with minimizing offense. And of course, as we would interact with each other, if we could stay out of the cycle of offense principles mentioned in the book, that will help us to minimize offense in our interpersonal relationships, is indeed respecting the boundaries of others. But I believe you were mentioning it from a different perspective in that, hey, because forgiveness is primarily for me, the offended, okay, I'm not going to allow this person who is continuing on in his offensive or her offensive behavior to impact me any further, okay? Because if forgiveness does not forge ahead or go forward, then what's going to happen is that the offender continues to have a grip on us, continues to control us, if you may.
Yeah.
Okay? And by releasing them then from the debt, in one sense, you're also releasing their grip on in our lives.
Wow. It's definitely a fascinating topic. Tell us more about who you are, Kevin Beneby, and why you were led to write this book. Who is Kevin Beneby?
Well, I'm Kevin Beneby. I'm a twin.
Identical?
Brother, yes.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Keith Beneby. I'm one of the elders at the Highbury Park Church of Christ. In 2000, to embark upon an educational process, and while there, the idea of writing the book on forgiveness came, it was germinated, received the seed, and I started to collect resources, and as I collected the resources, experiences came along that further encouraged me, helped me to see the need to continue on with the project of writing the book. That was during my practicum. That was in my marriage and family therapy studies. During the practicum, there was a lady who presented in the clinical setting, and she was struggling with forgiveness. She came into the setting distraught. She knew that God would want to forgive her husband, who had formed an incestuous relationship with their daughter.
Oh, gosh.
And so she was really, really, no doubt, hurt. She knew that God would want her to forgive him, but she wanted to smash his head open. So she was indeed challenged in a dilemma. It's a challenging situation that she experienced, and she received help in getting to that point of releasing her husband. The challenges that individuals have with forgiving offenders. And so that was an experience that further encouraged me to continue on with the project.
I don't know about forgiveness in that case.
I'm serious.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Hard.
Remember, actually, the book helps us to appreciate. You know, actually, this is as I hear you and
DeQuessa,
the book is for you. The book is for you because what's happened is this.
I mean,
people offend. Remember now, for a number of reasons. Okay. And they do hideous things, okay, terrible things in the offense. And we not again at all condoning the offense. But indeed, as we look at forgiveness, won't we say and agree that okay, this is an ideal opportunity for forgiveness to shine, for release of the debtor to gain traction, okay? It's easy to forgive perhaps that light offense.
Yeah.
But really, forgiveness shines in that more traumatic and horrendous offense. Forgiveness, this is where it shines further. Does it make sense? And so how do we release the offender? Again, we have to go through
into a jail cell. No? Into the darkest, deepest jail cell possible?
No. How do we release the offender? Remember now, the offender will experience the consequences for his offense, about societal offense, raping individuals. Certainly, society will exact justice, right? And we don't want to take away from that. But in terms of the individual who has been offended, how do we release the offender? Again, we want to recontextualize the offense. And how there are some principles mentioned in the book that helps us with recontextualizing the offense. For example, the principle of, let's say, volitional release that is mentioned in the book, where there is this understanding that I can release the offender. In other words, forgiving the offender is not beyond me.
Mm-hmm.
I have the capacity. I should have the competency to release my offender.
I'm curious about this story. Did what happened to her, to him? She's not together with him anymore.
I don't know. It's been a while.
Oh my God.
But I mean, what I want to make sure that I'm hearing you say is that the process of forgiveness is for your own inner healing.
Yeah.
Is that what you're?
It's primarily for the offended.
Mm-hmm. Because it can be paralyzing, right?
Yeah.
To hold this on and hold that. Yes, of course. It's
primarily for the offended.
And it will affect your health in many ways.
It's like that yoke, emotional yoke around your neck, that weight, oppressive weight around your neck as you go on in the spirit of unforgiveness, holding a grudge. A beautiful,
right, you get bitter. You get very bitter and angry.
A beautiful story is found in Jacob and Esau. Now, Scripture does not hold Esau in good light in a lot of respects, but in the case of shines, remember, along with his mother, Jacob, they concocted a plan and they deprived Esau from his blessings, and he was angry, and he determined that he will kill Jacob when his father died. And so he consoled himself with that notion. And Rebekah, Jacob's mother, had an appreciation, although she did a terrible deed against Esau, along with Jacob, she had an appreciation of forgiveness, and she sent Jacob away until the anger of Esau subsided. And that is a critical component of forgiveness. There's this emotional substitution that is attached to forgiveness, where the grudge is replaced by goodwill. The holding on to the wrong is replaced by release of the wrong. where the hatred is replaced by human affection. So she had a good appreciation of forgiveness. There's this emotional release, and we see it in place. Some 20 years after the incident, there's the reunion of Esau and Jacob, and we don't have Esau killing Jacob. On the contrary, we see a long embrace, a non-verbal embrace that spoke so loudly, I forgive you, I release you. Somehow Esau got to the point where he released Jacob from the debt over that, of the offense, over that 20-year period. Full to see exactly how he got to that point, but he got there. And so there are some principles in the book that highlight how we get there, how we recontextualize the offense and offender, the principle of volitional release. The principle of deficit is mentioned in the book, where we appreciate that there's something missing or absent in the life of the offender, that if it was present, perhaps the offense would not have occurred. Perhaps they would have been different. As a matter of fact, we find this in the life of Christ himself when he was on the cross and he asks his Father to release his offender. He says, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. So there was the principle of deficit we see coming from the statement of Jesus, and the book mentions it and develops it.
All right, so what was it like getting this book published? Tell us about that journey for you.
It was, I think, a great journey, 21st century, partnered with them. And it was a great journey. However, it was launched in the year of the pandemic, so it did not receive much traction because I believe the time it was launched in 2020. So it deserves a greater launch. And of course, I'm optimistic about that because the subject matter is a current, relevant subject. It could be launched today, it could be launched tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, because of how relevant the subject is.
Yeah. So where can people find I Forgive? Where can you get the book?
Well, you can give me a call, 427-4497, 427-4497, or you could visit on Carmichael Road a small green tent under the tent that is has the labeling KB's Nuts. While you pick up your peanuts from KB's Nuts, you could also find a copy of I Forgive, In a Lane Toward Forgiveness.
And you've brought some of those today. It's another one of your businesses?
Yeah, that's another initiative.
Tell us about that.
Well, we try KB's Nuts. We are seeking to give the Bahamian people difference in provide for the Bahamian people difference in their peanut experience. We're trying to take away the bland from your peanut experience. So we're trying to put some flavor to your peanut experience, and it's been encouragingly received.
Okay, wonderful. So is this going to be your first books? You got more books coming?
This is the first book. We wouldn't say it's the last, but we have some other things we're working on.
All right.
Now that this has been completed, and so you never know. The thing about writing is that once you start it, it opens, doors open up. Actually, let me just tell you this: when I sat down with the outline for the book, and I started to type, hey, inspiration, other perspectives came to me that I did not even consider with the outline. So in one sense, I had to put the outline aside and just go to town with new perspectives that came in writing. And so it's almost like as you enter one door, multiple doors open up to you in the writing experience.
Excellent. Yeah. Well, you have given us a lot to think about, and it's a tough one. It's a tough topic.
That's why it's needed.
And that's why you need the book, right?
Well, Dwight, the officers were just talking about the fact that we need to pull out more of our patience. And I think forgiveness is one of the ways and avenues that we're able to exercise more patience, huh?
Yes. Tolerance, yes.
Yes. You need that a lot.
Where you're not too easily knocked off, so to speak, by words. Patience is very important.
Right.
Tolerance.
Yeah, a lot of road rage out there. The next few days, you're going to need this.
Yep.
And so this is going to be a good stocking stuffer for some people, I'm sure. for Christmas, and we all could learn a lot of these virtues that we talked about this morning. So thank you very much, sir. I really appreciate it. Appreciate the gifts.
you.
And Kevin Benaby, again, the book
you,
is
Mr.
I
Benaby. Thank
Forgive, an Inner Lane Toward Forgiveness. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Charles.
And enjoy the holidays.
Thank
Enjoy
you.
the holidays.
Yes.
We're going to take a break, and we'll be back with more Morning Blend on Guardian Radio after this.
Sir, he lives a goodly hens underneath a mountain, right against the forest fence by St. Agnes Fountain.
Then bring me flesh and bring me wine, bring me pine logs hither. Thou and I will see him dine when we bear them thither. Page and monarch, forth they went together, through the rude winds, wild weather.
Earning zero interest on your savings at the bank? With as little as $100, you can start earning interest on your money while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank with the CFAL Savings Express Plan. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
It's $1 million Christmas and Everybody Wins is hooking you up. From December 1st to December 29th, you can win cash giveaways. Get into the cash vault, spin and win, and take advantage of other random raffle drawers. Prizes like mortgage payments, rent payments, utility bills cleared, cold cash, and more. To enter, you must sign up and get a verified account and simply spend $20 or more and you're in. To be eligible, you must be 18 and over. It's $1 million Christmas with Everybody Wins. Terms and conditions apply.
Child, Fidelity can on this year with their new festive giveaway. You could win cash, an iPhone 15, get a bill paid off, PS5, all kind of things. Apply for a loan or an ASUS savings account, and you could win. Try our call them now. Here, 356-7764.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Ready to save? You can put $100 into the CFAL Savings Express Plan and make sure your money keeps growing. Earn interest on your savings while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
Towards the heights of the season, Scotiabank wanted to give the people a lift for mom, dad, and kids. Apply for a Scotia Plan loan and unwrap the perfect Christmas gift. Fix your home, buy new appliances, or go on vacation. Scotiabank is giving holiday cheer with an all-expense-paid weekend trip for two to Miami for 3 days and 2 nights. When you apply for a Scotia Plan loan from now until December 31st, enjoy low interest rates and no payments for up to 2 months. Unwrap the perfect Christmas with Scotiabank.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
It is time for your morning business report, brought to you by CFAL. The government's special advisor on environmental and climate change matters, Rochelle Newbold, says the Bahamas was relieved by the high level of interest from international financiers who want to invest in areas that support the country's climate and finance needs, as opposed to the traditional touristic opportunities. Newbold was speaking on the outcome of several initiatives that were launched earlier this month at the 2023 United Nations Climate Change Conference, or COP28. And specifically, she's speaking about the Bahamas Sustainable Investment Program, the BSIP. Now, she says that during COP28, with the assistance of the Prime Minister, they were able to launch the BSIP to international private sector investors so that they could leverage partnerships for investment in the country. At the side events, she says the foundation communicated their excitement for the Bahamas to implement the initiative and to utilize their network of financiers to support the country's goal of improving resilience and climate action through the investment program. The value of residential and commercial construction permits issued leaped by 48% and 164%, respectively, during the last quarter. That's according to the Bahamas National Statistical Institute. In some new data released yesterday, construction activity is an important economic indicator, with numbers showing an overall growth of 10% during the third quarter of 2023. According to the report, the all Bahamas number of construction permits issued in the third quarter was higher than in the third quarter of 2022, 464 versus 424, by 41 projects or 10%. The value of permits issued over this period also increased from $138 million in 2022 to $238 million in 2023. You can read more about that in today's Guardian Business section. Overseas, Google has agreed to pay $700 million and make several other concessions to settle allegations that it had been stifling competition against its Android App Store. The same issue that went to trial in another case, it could result in even changes. Although Google struck the deal with state attorneys in the U.S. in September, state attorneys general in September, the settlement terms weren't revealed until late Monday in documents filed in San Francisco federal court. The disclosure coming a week after a federal court judge rebuked Google for deploying anti-competitive tactics in its Play Store for Android apps. The settlement with the states includes $630 million to compensate U.S. consumers, funneled into a payment processing system that state attorneys general alleged drove up the prices for digital transactions with in-apps downloaded from the Play Store. That store caters to the Android software that powers most of the world's smartphones. And also from the U.S., the White House is lending its support to an auto industry effort to standardize Tesla's electric vehicle charging plugs for all EVs in the United States, part of a broad effort to stimulate their sales and to help combat climate change. More than 1 million EVs have been sold in the United States in 2023. That's a record, but that pace still lags behind sales in countries like China and Germany. One key reason is the limited availability of charging infrastructure across the U.S., and that has been a widespread concern for many would-be buyers of EVs and has held back their sales in the United States. Tesla, the leader in the EV market, operates the largest network of fast chargers, and many of its supercharger stations are in prime locations along highly traveled corridors where other charging stations are sparse. On Tuesday, the SAE International, formerly the Society of Automotive Engineers, confirmed as a new standard Tesla's North American Charging Standard Connector. That connector, known as NACS, links Tesla's EVs to the company's network. In June, the automaker set standards for Tesla's EV charging plug to try to allow it to work with all EVs. The new standard ensures that any vehicle or charging equipment supplier or manufacturer would be able to use, manufacture, or deploy the connector and expands charging access for current and future EV drivers across the country. That was said in a joint statement today by the U.S. Office of Energy and Transportation. The standard could help boost consumer confidence in EVs as the White House, the auto industry, and other stakeholders strive to encourage mass adoption. And Britain and France reiterating their determination today that Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine ends in failure, with the UK Foreign Ministry saying that Ukraine's allies must better leverage their economic might to vastly outmatch Moscow's war machine. The renewed insistence from UK Foreign Secretary David Cameron and French counterpart Catherine Colonna that Russia can't be rewarded for its aggression comes as wartime aid from Ukraine's biggest single military backer, the United States, is faltering. Cameron, speaking after talks with Colonna in Paris, said that if the economies of the Ukraine's Western partners are calculated together, that they outmatch the Russian economy by 25-1 or more. Closer to home in your Market Watch, recapping trading on the BISX from Monday. Your market movers, Cable Bahamas, moving 563 shares, closing at 420, unchanged. Commonwealth Bank moving 1,687, down 3 cents, closing at 542. Colina Holdings moving 2,500, unchanged at 1020. Finco moving 73. Consolidated Water down 13 cents, closing at 691. Emira Incorporated down 7 cents, closing at 897. The BISX All Share Index closing at 2,848.69, down 0.23. That's your Market Watch. And that is your morning business report, brought to you by CFAL. Growing wealth for future generations.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
On the first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me a partridge in a pear tree. On the second day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 2 turtle doves and a partridge in a pear tree. On the third day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. On the fourth day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. On the 5th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 5 golden rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. On the 6th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 6 geese a-laying, 5 golden rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. On the 7th day of Christmas...
It's going to be too long. Welcome back to Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Duquesa Dean. And our final few minutes here, people still texting in about the license, the insurance issue with cars. And as we heard earlier in the show with the police when they were on, Chief Superintendent Lockhart on, I mean, they're seeing it already. Lots of these little fender benders. I saw quite a few yesterday, especially near roundabouts. Are people in SDs? I suspect they may be tourists, or are they just lunatics? I don't know. But anyway, they don't know the streets, obviously, and are doing the most nonsense. So we have a lot of people in town, a lot of people visiting from abroad for Christmas to see family or here for Junkanoo. I don't know, but they're doing foolishness. So, and that's apart from the regular foolishness that we see in SDs. So
yeah, but people are also driving without licenses.
Yes.
You have people letting their cars to other people that they know don't have a license.
Yep.
Like, that's a recipe for a disaster.
And it's always them. You know it. If you lend it to your cousin who's not on your insurance and you know your cousin doesn't have a license, your car is done. And they're likely going to hurt somebody. It's always the cousin borrowed the car and it got destroyed.
Correct.
Always the cousin.
So listen, can they do they persecute the car owner as well as the person
Maybe
who?
we need to start.
Yeah, they need to do both because if your cousin borrows your car and you loan it to them and you know they didn't have a license, you know they're not on your insurance, you are just as responsible.
Especially the car doesn't have insurance and doesn't have a license. All of you need to go to jail. But yeah, sure. So this person says here, it's very simple. If you are involved in an accident driving a vehicle without insurance, your vehicle should be confiscated and should become the property of the insured driver if you get into an accident. Well, I mean, some of those cars, those cars are never the good cars. The person driving without the license in the right is a rich car. So what are you going to do with that? You might as well let the person who hit you become your property. I mean, I get more out of that than I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know what I'm saying. But anyway,
put them to work.
Yes. You're mine now, and you're going to work this off.
Yes, yes.
What that means. But okay. But let's talk about it. Chief Superintendent David Lockhart said it, right? That sounds so easy. Lawmakers, for God's sake, fix it so that you have to prove that you have insurance to cover the inspection, the car inspection period. Right? Come on. And so, I mean, I know that there's a challenge with that because yeah, you might not have your inspection and your birthday, and you might not want all of that and the insurance to come due at the same time in the same month. That could be a big challenge. Absolutely. I get it. But
you could still have insurance for a year. You don't necessarily have to align it, but show that you have long-term insurance.
Yeah. Something has to be done. We've got bright minds who get out. Come on. This nonsense about having it for just proof for the day, and you don't. This is insane. But why has this been allowed to go on for so long? Why? Doesn't make sense. Who are we protecting here? What really matters to the folks, the powers that be?
I guess it's just because it was what it was, and no one has gone back to say from years ago we've come 20, 50 years forward, what do we need to change?
Well, they've changed tons of things. Why not this one?
Right.
Yeah, this is crazy. Let's get your reaction to it, folks. Again, you're on the streets right now. That car next to you, that little hatchback, you know he doesn't have any insurance. You know it. You see how he's weaving and butting? He doesn't. So what are we going to do? 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. I'm not trying to be mean or judgmental. You just know it. You're driving like a lunatic because you don't have anything to lose. But
then when you knock someone's car, you don't even stay at the scene of the accident.
Definitely not.
Leaving.
Because why should they? Call us toll free, 242-300-5720. But you heard it. You heard yesterday what they say is happening in other countries, right? You just going over the speed limit, you get your car taken away and crushed. We need to show that we are serious about these things. Clearly, we are not. We are seeing the people, everybody without a helmet, everybody just driving around laughing at us for paying for insurance, laughing at us for licensing vehicles. People bragging they haven't done that for 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
Bragging.
Yeah.
Because, why? Why do I need to do this? It's a tax. I don't need that. Oh, boy. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Mrs. Strachan. Good morning, Digressor Dean.
Hi.
Yeah, Dwight, I was in the shop weekend, right? And so I guess like how you push the local government also, right? And this traffic at Erin also. I see some people knock on Erin, but, Dwight, I don't think you should go to jail for that one, but I think vehicular manslaughter or death should result in that. I'm a victim of it, and my nephew, I lost a nephew, who was only 14 years old. He was knocked by a lady coming home from school. He lived in Stapleton at the time, and so the lady's statement was she looked up and he was in the front of the car, or he jumped in the front of the car. I don't know what kind of foolishness it was. She was on her way to Crystal Palace. So I lost a whole nephew, right? Nothing came out of it, Dwight. But what I'm saying is I was a victim numerous times of being hit by vehicles, wrong license plates on the car, no insurance, et cetera, and a very, very, very famous politician who the other son told me that was his family. They went to a little cul-de-sac in Marathon, Never got any response. It's just right. This is what it is. But here's what I'm upset about: the fact that they want to implement new laws, right? And then I heard what I was saying about confiscate cars, and that's a good idea. And like it was, but the thing is, and it was something else the road traffic corp had asked for, right? But I disagree with that because I'm so appalled at the fact that when the cases, like the traffic police come, they write up the case, the person you wait weeks later, and then you get the subsequent results. And so the person is found guilty of driving without due care and attention, et cetera, causing damage, whatever, right? But then you go to court, and if the case is adjudicated, the person is at fault, but then you still have to turn around and go carry the person to civil court. Why can't they just adjudicate it right there and then and carry out the monetary benefits to the person versus you running around? Right. I've never been compensated for a vehicle. I had one of those Cedrics back in the days, right? Wow. It was expensive. And I had a person knock that and never paid me. As a matter of fact, the guy was a prison officer, right? The guy paid me some money in counterfeit, okay?
Oh.
So I've never been I've never been compensated for no.
Have you seen him since then?
I saw him. He paid an increment. He's still short. He didn't pay me what it's really all about. But the accident that happened in my Cedric, I actually got in a fight on Village Road on a holiday. My girlfriend had asked me to beg me to carry out, and I got in an accident on the roundabout, and the guy tried to ride off of me, and the guy ended up in a fight. Where the city market, just east on Village Road, just east of where the city market parking lot was. And some of his friends pull up, and some of my friends pull up, and my car was damaged. And man, I almost get in problems. Right? That's what I'm saying. Is why is it that we don't deserve anything here? I listened to Stephen the other day. I agree with Stephen. Stephen is very observant. When you're walking my daughter to school, guys on the sidewalk with motorbike, everybody on cell phone. Dwight, this is a mindless guy. Listen to me, man. I don't know what's wrong with us.
Something has to be done.
But maybe Daz is correct. If you suffer from some type of post-slave traumatic disorder, but I wouldn't agree with that scenario she's talking about. But I see it collectively, Dwight.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing is happening for us, Dwight. We don't respect one another, Dwight. Guys on the sidewalk riding their motorbike. I mean, they wouldn't try to. I don't even budge. I don't even see them.
Yeah.
Going and coming.
But there is hope, though. We were talking about it a little bit earlier about what happens in other countries, and a lot of these countries were as lawless and crazy as we were many decades ago, but they've turned things around.
Right. We are lawless because people are being allowed to get away.
Yes, absolutely.
They pass the cell phone scenario. You still see the situation like that. Nothing is going to change. We're just wallowing.
Right.
And people are
we
not
have to get absolutely. Absolutely.
Until they knock somebody, and then what's the point? If you don't have insurance, you have insurance. I go to court, you found guilty. I still have to run you down for my money, Dwight. I've never been compensated for any vehicle.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, I share this with you. That's what I wanted to share because I don't want to slip my mind. The Negro and the psyche don't understand the psyche behind owning a car. There's nothing wrong with owning a car, but in first world countries, millionaires catch the bus, Dwight, and the transit system. But we are being engineered and snared to believe that we are lost, man. Bless up.
Yeah. Well, our own people did that to us, and we have to demand better, right? And if central government doesn't want to do it, and they probably anyway, in real countries, it is a municipal matter, and we need to be freed from our central government overlords to develop our cities on our own and come up with these better systems since they are incapable of doing it. Right?
Yeah, but Dwight, you know what? We know exactly what we're doing because we will do all this lawlessness here, and then we will hop on a flight, go to our neighbors, rent a car, and follow all of the traffic laws like we know what a four-way stop is.
Yeah, because it's over there. There are no real consequences here unless you are very unfortunate, right? And that's a small population. But for most people, they call up a cousin and they're cool. Yep. But we've got to do something. But like I said, there have been countries like this, and they've turned things around, right? And I keep saying Japan is an amazing example of what can happen. And we got to find a way to study what they did, study what they are doing, and what happens. It's lots of consequences, very serious consequences for deviant behavior over there. And I don't know if Bahamian people are willing to go down that road, but we have to do it if we're going to save this country. We have to. Let's take this call really quickly. We got to go. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Are you there?
Yes, good morning.
Hi.
I'd like to make a comment on this situation.
Yes, really quickly.
Like, when you get an accident, you go to court and you win the case. The judge tells you now, and if the person is not there to say for the judge to give them a date to come back, they tell you have to go look for the person to bring them back to court. And I told the judge the other day, I say, Mr. Person didn't give me a forwarding address to where they are. Why should I have to go look for somebody and the police force has the resources to do these things? That's another thing would cause all these problems. And then the other thing is, it's slipping my mind now. When the police are doing roadblocks, they be at a junction where the people could see them, and plus turn off if they are not licensed and insured. I told the officers the other day, I said, why all of y'all jam up here and the people could turn off right down there when they
And you can see all the people turning.
They have no sense of how to catch. They don't think like a criminal. They need to train them to think like a criminal's voice before
Or
they
hire some of the criminals.
uphold the law.
Hire some of the
But
criminals as well.
The point was,
Yeah.
one time, let me give you a case in point.
Really quickly,
I
we
was
gotta go.
coming, and they were at the Shell gas station there on Carmichael Road. All the lights flashing. You know, you got 3 points you could turn off to avoid them. You could go back around the hill, turn off on Soldier Road, and plus turn off into the area where Gladstone, the place you turn off is. And then you could turn off on Malcolm Road. 4 places you could turn off, and they got all their lights flashing down at the Shell gas station.
Yeah. Wow.
Now,
Well,
who are they trying to catch?
so you got to have the outriders on the turn-off points, right? When they turn through the corner,
Right,
stop
and
them.
then I stopped and I told the inspector, I said, sir, do you know I can see you from on the top of the hill? Why you all jam up down here? And then he looked at me like, who you think you talking to?
You're lucky you weren't arrested. But
You speaking to tell that man, you can see them from on the top of the hill.
yeah.
And he having a roadblock down on Carmichael Road.
Oh boy.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Oh my goodness. Well, Duquesa Dean, I won't see you, I guess, before Christmas. Merry Christmas to you. Happy Boxing Day, all the holidays. Thank you so much for being with us. And we look forward to many wonderful conversations in the new year.
Thank you so much.
Same to you. All right, I'll be back tomorrow morning with more Morning Blend and Morning Blend Business right here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan, have a great day. Stay tuned for On the Clock with Aaron Green coming up next.
2 turtle doves and a partridge in a pear tree. On the 11th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 11 pipers piping, 10 ladies dancing, 9 lords a leaping, 8 maids a milking, 7 swans a swimming, 6 geese a laying, 5 golden rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. On the 12th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 12 drummers drumming, 11 pipers piping, 10 ladies dancing, 9 lords a leaping, 8 maids a milking, 7 swans a swimming, 6 geese a laying, 5 golden rings.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.